Minneapolis shooting. Federal agents kill ICU nurse Alex Pretti, triggering nationwide outcry. The fatal shooting of Alex Jeffrey Pretti, a 37-year-old intensive care nurse, by U.S. federal immigration agents in Minneapolis on January 24, 2026, has drawn widespread condemnation and renewed debate over federal law enforcement conduct during domestic operations. What happened? Federal officers, including agents from U.S. Border Patrol operating under an expanded immigration enforcement initiative, were deployed in South Minneapolis when they encountered a group of demonstrators. Pretti was present during the confrontation, which unfolded near a neighborhood business in the Whittier area. Video footage that later surfaced shows Pretti filming officers with his mobile phone. Witnesses say tensions escalated after an agent used pepper spray on a woman nearby. Moments later, Pretti was sprayed, taken to the ground, and restrained by multiple agents. Shortly afterward, he was shot. Federal authorities stated that the shooting was justified, claiming Pretti approached officers while armed and resisted attempts to disarm him. The Department of Homeland Security said an agent fired in self-defense during a struggle. Conflicting evidence. Independent videos and eyewitness accounts challenge that explanation. Several recordings appear to show Pretti holding only his phone before being restrained. In some footage, officers can be seen removing a firearm from his body while he was already on the ground. Critics argue this undermines claims that he posed an immediate threat at the time shots were fired. Minnesota officials, including Governor Tim Walz, expressed skepticism over the federal account, stating that available video evidence does not align with the version provided by authorities. Local leaders have called for clarity and transparency as questions continue to mount. Who Alex Pretti was. Pretti worked as a registered nurse in the intensive care unit at the Minneapolis VA health care system, where colleagues described him as compassionate and deeply committed to patient care, especially for veterans. He had no significant criminal history and was known for his involvement in community issues. While he was legally allowed to carry a firearm under Minnesota law, it remains disputed whether he ever displayed or attempted to use it during the incident. Public response. News of Pretti's death sparked protests in Minneapolis and other major cities across the United States. Healthcare workers, activists, and community members gathered to honor his memory and demand accountability. Many described his killing as emblematic of broader concerns over aggressive enforcement tactics and the use of force by federal agents. The shooting came amid heightened tensions following another recent fatal incident involving federal officers in Minneapolis, further intensifying public anger and scrutiny. Calls for accountability. State and local authorities have urged an independent investigation, noting that federal agents initially restricted access to the scene, even as state investigators sought to collect evidence. Lawmakers and civil rights groups are pressing for a full review of the operation and clearer limits on federal enforcement actions within U.S. cities. As investigations continue, the death of Alex Pretti has become a focal point in the national conversation about policing, civil liberties, and the role of federal agents in domestic law enforcement.